Hi, everybody. It's really good to be here. I feel like Elvis. It's really good to be here. Uh-huh. Never done an Elvis impression on a webinar before. That's exciting. You're welcome. No extra charge on the Elvis impersonation. If you have any oils nearby, I would grab them because we're going to go deep into our hearts today. And it's good to have things around that feel really good for your body, that grounds you and keep you here. So grab the oil. If you have pillows nearby, water. I already have chats. Let's see. I already have chats. Hi. Hi, Paige. Brianna. Yeah, everyone say hi. If you can hear me, you can drop little highs. Wow. Just like titillated right now. Feeling a lot. I've been receiving amazing emails from you about what you're looking for, what you're feeling, what you're desiring from this webinar, what you're looking at, calling into your life in the next 6 weeks. I love it. It's truly an honor. It's truly a gift to serve you, to share my heart, to share my experiences. I never would have thought that what I've experienced, like where I was when I was 14, when I was 18, I would never thought that there was a reason for it. Never in a million years. And I'm really glad that I stuck around this world to bring in my medicine that moves through me. You know, what's wild is I really don't have to do anything other than show up and be in my body. Before we dive into meditation to ground in our body, the work here today is to move out of our heads into our bodies, into our hearts. So that means the stuff that's flowing around in there, like I gotta do this, all the to-do lists, why did I say this? Why did she say this? Blah, blah, blah. And even moments of like sheer like, I have to get this. Like, you know, like when you're doing something like this webinar or if you're doing a class and you're like, okay, I have to figure this out. I have to make sure I apply it. I feel like if you do that in your head and you're doing these arm moves too, I just feel like ninja arm moves really work. Like, I gotta do this, I gotta get it right, I gotta learn, I gotta grow, I gotta get the best out of every single moment. And sometimes when we're like squeezing so hard to something, it like slips from our hands, right? So the work here really is no work at all, is to actually let go of the pressure to do or to be anything. Kind of like shake it off your shoulders. You know what? Why don't we do that together real quick? Just do a little shake. It's been a long day. I don't know where you've been today, what you've been creating, what you've been up to. If you've been in the world or if you've been avoiding the world, wherever you are is absolutely perfect. So maybe massage your shoulders. Notice if any part of your body needs a little TLC right now. You can hold that part of your body. Take a moment, allowing body to rest. Allowing body to come fully here. It actually takes a hot moment, you know? For all of you amazing ones that are on time, it takes effort. So sometimes it takes a little bit for our body to come into the present moment and not to be stuck in what just happened or what's going to happen. So that's why we're taking a couple minutes today before we dive in to ultimately allow your body to feel good. I tell my clients all the time that body is boss. Body is boss. Body is boss. Keep coming back to that. My body is my boss. So if body feels tense, you get to just breathe. Take a deep breath in. Maybe you'll still feel tense. The goal isn't to change how you're feeling. The goal is just to be in your body. We're going to go deep into that today, what it means to be in your body. Even if you have wounds, even if you've had struggles, even if you've experienced loss, what it means to come back to the body when it hasn't felt like a safe place to be. And we're going to take a couple moments to meditate. Again, get comfortable in your seat. Close your eyes. Coming to stillness when you're ready. Taking a deep breath in through your nose. And then out through your mouth. Notice how slow you can make your breath. Another slow, deep breath in through your nose. And out through your mouth. If you can, rest in between the in-breath and out-breath, in that silence, in that stillness. On your exhale, hold gently. And deep breath in through your nose again. And maybe let out a little sigh through your mouth. And as you breathe, noticing the temperature of your breath as you breathe it into your lungs. And notice the temperature as you exhale through your mouth. Notice what happens in your body when you simply breathe. Maybe place a hand over your body, maybe one on your heart and one on your belly. Taking a moment to thanking yourself for showing up here today, for showing up for you. Feeling gratitude towards your body for being present as much as he or she can. Another in-breath and out-breath. And on your out-breath, say in your mind the word yes. Yes to how you feel. Yes to what is alive for you in this moment. Yes to safety, to being fully present. And with another in-breath and out-breath, gently, slowly open your eyes if you haven't already. Can you feel like that quality that you can create around your body when you breathe and you slow down? It's like a balm. A balm on all of the parts of you. So today, in today's work together, trust that you're going to get exactly what you need. You're going to hear the thing that you need to hear that's going to click something into place that ultimately is going to give you more freedom and clarity. It's wild. And it happens when you trust. Today we're talking about our wounds. How the way you handle your wounds makes you sexy, makes you alive. Makes you feel deeper, makes you more passionate, makes you more fun to be around. Notice the speed that we're going to move today. This is the speed at which you get to touch and be with yourself. Slow, tender, gentle. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, nowhere to be. So today, before we dive in, I'm going to also talk a little bit about me. Why do I do this work? I'm a little chilly. I'm going to grab my blanket. Feel free to grab a blanket because you have a body. You deserve to feel good in your body. And actually, apparently science says that the more comfortable we feel in our body, the easier it is to learn, the easier it is to let in, to grow. That the nervous system has to feel safe in order to even get new information. That's really big, really important. So why do I do this work? Who am I? Well, I do this work because I had to save my own life, essentially. I had to go through really severe depression and really severe anxiety. Since I was probably 14, I think, is when I started to experience it, because it's also when I started to experience very complicated abuse from religion. Like, there was a lot of things happening at once. And I came to a place where I knew like I had a crossroads, like I was at a crossroads and I can make a decision. I'll either end my life, or I'll like hang around and I'll make a difference and I'll pass it forward. Like, I was like, this is what you can do. Like, you could either end things because you can't continue to go like this, or you potentially could pass, like you could learn and grow and then pass that forward to other people. And there was like this download, like there was something happening in me, this aliveness, where the universe was like, dude, you're supposed to be here. Like, you're supposed to figure out how to stay here and not just survive, but thrive. I'm like, okay, I guess we're doing this. I remember when I was probably 18 was when I had that come to Jesus moment, so to speak, literally metaphorically, where I'm like, fuck, like, this is it. I'm like writing out a letter to like my family about like why I want to die, and like I'm starting to like research it, and there's like this moment where I feel it in my system, like, but wait, you know, like, wait, I mean, this is kind of ridiculous. Like, some guy, really? Like, some guy doesn't like you? Now, it wasn't just some guy. It was like a 20, 30, he was in his late 20s. I was 14. And it was like this whole abusive dynamic. of course, but like there was a little part of me that could kind of laugh and be like, come on, like don't do something like that, really. Like he's not worth it. This situation is not worth it. And I also got a lot of help. A lot of help. I was in therapy. I changed my diet. I changed my sleeping patterns very drastically, very quickly. I was like compulsive eating at the time. Like I would hide food in order, like when I was like 17, 18, I would hide food around the house and like eat it when I was feeling like really sad or really empty. I would like wail. Like I would do, I feel like I was barely awake, actually, barely alive. And I started getting help. I started reaching out for help. And that's what brought me back to my body. That's what woke me up. Getting help, saying I can't do it on my own. And I decided that I need to learn how to make myself better. And then I'm going to pass forward whatever it is that I learned. Like, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to stay on this earth. And then eventually down the line, someone's going to benefit from what I went through. It's pretty amazing because that's what I've been seeing in the past 3 years of my work. Seeing the transformation that happens when I don't hide. So in order to do this work, I have to be very vocal, really trust myself, trust my healing, trust my voice, so you can get what you need, and then you can pass it forward. Feels really good in my bones. Feels really good in my bones. To get to do this. I have a master in social work. I was a psychotherapist before I began this work. I worked in community mental health with people with severe mental illness. I feel like we all got something going on. Maybe we're diagnosed, maybe we're not diagnosed, but I actually think the most highest achievers have the most issues. Like people who are like the most productive, most successful, make the biggest impact, most charismatic, most interesting, most loving. I think we need the most help. And that's why I do what I do. I gravitate towards people who have a hard time asking for help. And those type of people gravitate towards me, like the people who know everything, the people who've done all the work, the people who've hired all the gurus, the coaches, did all the things to make themselves feel better. And there was still this emptiness, this like this thing that won't go away, like this thing that actually creates more pain. Like the relationship to this thing and trying to resist it creates more pain and more suffering. I always attract people who are hot shit. Hence you, hot shit. Yeah, I was a psychotherapist and specialized in trauma. And then about 3 years back, I decided that I need to be able to do my work more visibly. Like I need to be more transparent. As a psychotherapist, you hold the space and you don't get to share your like personal thoughts or personal experiences. You're supposed to kind of hold that back a little bit. And it's a little bit more like you're looking at someone underneath a magnifying glass. By the way, I have a therapist. I still do it. I love it. I think it's incredibly important. I'll probably be in therapy for the rest of my life. I can't say enough good things about it. However, I knew that I was meant to do a bit more in transparency and being vocal and using my body and my heart as a way for people to really love themselves. I knew, I didn't know what it was, but I knew there was something there. So I left community mental health and I decided to just start doing sessions, creating my own method. It's kind of cool to talk about it, actually, to look back. Created my own method of trauma healing specifically for women. I started with women, and then more men were coming in to get fed because I really saw the heart of the masculine as well. Simply because I look at myself, I look at all the pieces of me, the truth of me, and I can't deny it. And because I'm really authentic with myself, people have an easier time being authentic with themselves. We are, when we're inspired, we inspire others. And that's essentially what I do, is I get inspired and then I inspire other people. So now that you know a little bit about me and why I'm here, what brings me here, I have total street cred on wounds. Total street cred. Um, I want to talk to you about why I wanted to do this topic. Why wounds? I'm going to say wounds a lot today. Wounds, wounds. It feels weird if you say it 3 times. Wounds, wounds. Why did I choose wounds? Because I recognized patterning in my own relationships where I was putting like salt on my own wounds. It's like, oh, here's this wound that I've done a lot of healing on. I was feeling really good about, but let me bring it back to the surface and throw salt on it and then call it love. It's like, oh, I love this person and I'm going to create all this drama in my life because I haven't had enough drama in my life. Does anybody resonate with that? Knowing that something is probably going to hurt and bring up maybe some wounding to the surface, but doing it anyway, leaning in anyway. I knew that because this is something that I've been facing and I've been healing, that is something that we need to be talking about as a collective. The men and women here are incredible. Like, I can feel how much you love. Incredible lovers. Incredible. So big, so deep. Today we're looking at how do we turn that love more inward? How do we bring that love inward towards even towards our wounding? Not towards the shiny, beautiful parts that feel good, that we feel smart in, that we feel cool, that we feel confident. How do we turn that love inward towards the spots that hurt when maybe we weren't taught that before? Maybe we never experienced what true patience is, true kindness, when we're needing it the most. Like, it's easy to be nice to ourselves. Like, if we get the job, if we get the partner, if we lose the weight, it's like, I can rest for 5 minutes. But if we're running from our wounds, guess what? 10 minutes later, it's like, I'm an idiot. Like, we can be harsh with ourselves if we're running from our wounds, It's like, I could be harsh with myself. It doesn't matter how much I accomplish, how much I do, how many degrees, whatever, how many people I help in the world. I have to be super, super tender with myself, super tender with my wounds. Because this is really important. Ultimately, our wounds are not going anywhere. I hate to drop the bomb, but our wounds are here. So we're going to learn a new relationship to our wounds. A new relationship to the wound. What does that mean? What does a new relationship mean? I mean, if you're here, you probably have done a shit ton of work on yourself, or maybe you're new. Maybe you're new to self-development and personal development, like work in general. That's very rare. Usually people who come to me are like, I've done everything. You pretty much are like a teacher in yourself, but maybe you're new. And the things that society tells us should make us feel better just don't make us feel better. The white picket fence, like having life look a certain way, the body, the things, like we're all grasping for these things to hopefully fill our wounds and like feel like the aching, like to heal our wounds and feel the aching in our body, which never goes away. It's almost like a cosmic joke. I was actually doing some work that I'll talk to you about in a few minutes before I got on the call today. Some personal work on my own wound. And I was crying and I started laughing. I'm like, what? Like, how am I still healing? How am I still healing this? How was that possible? My clients will say, like, I should be done with this by now. I'm annoyed with this. All of these feelings of impatience to our wound is the relationship that We're going to look at letting go of the impatience, the putting ourselves down. I should be further. Guess what? I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on my healing, and I still get triggered, and I still feel like absorbed in a wound sometimes. I still feel not perfect, nowhere near perfect. The relationship we're learning with our wounds, with the parts of us that hurt, is one of compassion and tenderness. So the first thing that we're looking at for you to let go of is criticism towards the parts of you that aren't doing it right. Like punishing yourself for maybe being punished by others or for not getting it right. You don't like me? Guess what? I don't like me too. I'm going to protect myself by not liking myself, and then I don't have to feel what it's like when I'm reaching for you and you're not reaching back. So maybe if I abandon myself, like whatever, like ignore my wounds and call, like not be invested in myself, and it doesn't hurt so much when you hurt me because I don't like me either. There's this thing that we do, right? With our wounding, it's this judgment, and we think we're protecting ourselves by judging ourselves. I'm going to figure out all the things that are wrong with me and why, oh God, I did this and I did that. I'm going to figure it all out. And somehow all this figuring things out keeps us from getting help and keeps us from actually feeling good. This criticism, this, why am I not further along? I want you to jot down any phrases that resonate with you. And if you ask me a question and I don't get to it, I have Brianna. She's an amazing woman, my assistant. Hopefully she can copy all of the comments and I can get back to you after today's webinar, or you can email me directly if you don't hear from me. But again, jot down, what are the phrases, what are the things that you say about your own wounding, your own humanness, really? Because to have wounds is to be human. We can't be human and not have wounds. They come together. It's like peanut butter and jelly, essentially. Peanut butter sounds really good right now. They come together. Like we can't, no matter how good I do or how successful I am or how many people love me or how many people don't love me, I'm still going to carry this aching. I'm still going to carry this wounding. I know how to make it worse. And I can actually, okay, I could cry thinking about how good I am at making it worse. I am so good at it. I have all of the excuses in the world of why I don't get to feel good because I haven't gotten to X, Y, or Z. All of the excuses. I've almost, at times, made feeling bad an art. I'm going to feel so bad. I pride myself in my wounding. I feel so hurt. I feel so left out. And because you're leaving me out, I'm going to leave myself out. It's like, why? It's like, come on. What are you doing over there? Just, why? What's the payoff? Sometimes we dig our wounds deeper. It's like, I got this thing I'm just gonna go all in, dude. This hurts. I'm gonna full ass my wound. I'm gonna full ass this chaos. I'm just gonna, and there's a safety in that. There's a safety in being wounded. If I'm wounded, I don't have to try. I spent 2 weeks in like Wound City, like not going outside, like nobody loves me. I'm not good enough because I was going through this very difficult breakup with someone that I really cared deeply about. And instead of like letting people in and like nourishing myself, I'm like, this hurts so bad. It's bringing up my father wound. And guess what? I'm going to make it hurt worse. I'm not going to ask for help. I'm barely going to go out. I'm just going to focus on what I have to focus on, do the bare minimum, and that's it. And I remember thinking, like, holy fuck, like I could sink into this and stay here. Like I could stay here. This feels safe. I actually think it's like us trying to protect like our little child. It's like, okay, if I just like completely pull out of life, if I just completely pull out, well, then maybe I won't hurt as much next time, you know? Maybe my little inner child that's been really hurt and really sad and feels abandoned and not good enough, maybe she'll be safe if I'm like out of the game. If I pull out of the game, I don't feel anything. I don't feel, I kind of feel bad, but mostly it's just numb and empty. And I sure as hell don't feel good. I'm just like digging that wound deeper, baby. How deep can we go? How much can I make this hurt? And we create groups. We do things like around this like pride over like I'm very hurt. You hurt me and I will be wounded forever, and I will suffer. And I'm pretty good at suffering. I have a master's degree in suffering. I know how to feel really bad, and somehow it makes me brave. The fact that I'm home, not reaching out for help, makes me brave. Finally, after 2 weeks of like being in this like weird sort of desolate, I don't need help, I'm just gonna suffer through this place, I like got on the phone with my therapist. I started reaching out to my friends. I was like, look, I'm purposely trying to hide, and call me out. Don't let me hide. Like, don't be nice to me and let me disappear for weeks. Like, no. We're family. We're better than family. Call me on my shit. Ask me how I'm doing. Ask me, am I talking to the person that I broke up with and ultimately making my wounds worse? Or am I actually moving towards healing? We can't do both. This is where we get stuck. This is why we literally get stuck, immobile, depressed, lose money, our health, is because it's like, bam, I'm not going to make any decisions because I'm afraid of making decisions. I'm just going to hold myself down here because I want both. I want this thing that's really unhealthy for me, and I want to feel good. Like, I want me too, but you can't have both. Like, we literally can't do both. We're either living or we're dying. It's an energy that we can embody. It's an energy that we can feel. And to have a new relationship to our wound, we have to be like honest as fuck with ourselves about what is really healing our wounds and what is making them worse, or what is just bringing them up. So then every single day, here's this thing again. Like, here I am crying again. Be really careful not to internalize. This isn't, I share this work not for people to internalize it and be like, oh, there's more to fix. There's more to fix. I'm actually offering you like a new perspective, like maybe to clean off your proverbial glasses so you can actually see the relationships in your life for what they are. Are they healing you or are they hurting you? It's that simple. When I'm stepping out of the self-judgment, when I'm no longer judging myself for judging myself, it's so meta. I'm judging myself for judging myself for hating myself, for judging myself, blah, blah, blah. Like when we're no longer in that place of judgment, I'm judging myself for feeling so bad. Why do I feel so bad? Well, you just went through a breakup with someone that you thought was going to be another partner, or someone that you really deeply loved, someone that felt like family, in all the good ways and the bad ways. It's like, yeah, you feel like shit. Of course, it's okay. It's okay to feel. When we step out of the judgment and self-criticism, we actually start to feel the nuances of what's happening in our hearts. I'm actually starting to feel, I'm starting to experience what's actually happening in my heart. I'm not bypassing it by judging myself. I'm not angry with myself. I'm not making myself suffer for suffering. And this happens too sometimes when people want to work with me. I can tell, like, if they're ready, because I'm like, if people are so addicted to their suffering, it's hard to let go of it. It's like hard to let go of the suffering and choose like possibility of something new, because it's like, what do you mean I get to feel better? I've been feeling bad since I was 14. I've been afraid of men since I was 14. I've been afraid of women since I was 14. What are you saying that I get to live outside of that? Like, what does that even mean? It's like we make our suffering this cozy little cabin, and we're like, yeah, this sucks. And I'm not doing shit about it. The people who do the work with me are like, man, I don't know what the hell is outside this cabin in the real world, but I can't deny myself that freedom anymore. Like, I can't deny myself that, of just seeing, you know? I'm just looking at what's possible. What is possible when I stop harping on myself, when I stop criticizing myself? What's possible when I get help in places that I normally wouldn't get help in? What's possible? When you like lower that radio station in the mind, which is Anne Lamott, one of my favorite writers, calls it K fucked. When you like lower K fucked, it's like all of a sudden all of my wounding, it's like not that bad anymore. Because I can have, like, I can wake up and have breakfast, and I can go for a walk. And yeah, I don't feel perfect, but at least I'm alive. At least I get to like experience life, the good and the bad. When I like slowly but consciously begin to move out of this criticism of all the things that I feel like I should be doing differently and be doing better. Our wounding can be a wall in between us and other people. You know, like, that's a different relationship to the wound. It's like, this is my fortress, kind of like the cabin metaphor that I was just talking about. And it's like, I know it's blocking me from intimacy. Like, I know it is, but I'm really afraid to look at what's underneath that. Like, I'm really afraid to feel what's underneath that. What if I feel, well, I don't know what's underneath it. What if I feel really worse? What if I feel worse than I already do? The thing about wounding is the only way to heal it is to feel it, right? Have you heard that? People say that a lot. It sounds like a stupid thing, but it's actually really true. The more that I honestly feel what I feel in life, don't pull myself out of life. Yeah, like watch Netflix for whatever, like, or have time out by myself for a certain, but don't live out there alone, right? The more that I'm in life feeling what I have to feel, it's like the easier it is to experience the range of emotions and not get stuck in anxiety or stuck in depression or stuck in anger or stuck in fury. think we really become immobile when we aren't willing to feel. Like, I'll give you the example of the 2 weeks of the depression that I experienced, I don't know, a month or so ago, a little bit longer. It was so scary to feel. It was so scary to feel because I knew the truth. The truth is this: it wasn't about this guy, it wasn't about what happened. And yeah, it was painful. And yeah, I made mistakes. And yeah, I learned a lot, a lot. But I knew in my body to feel this would actually bring me home to a wound that needed more space, needed more love. So it's like, I'm just going to be depressed. I'm going to check out. I'm not going to feel this because feeling this is too much. Feeling this is um, too scary because whoa, because when I touch the actual wound underneath what I thought the problem was, it's like, whoa, there's like, wow, there's a lot of tenderness. There's a lot of tenderness. Oh, but it actually feels so much better. Like the wound underneath the wound is what I like to call it. Like what's actually happening. And I have brilliant support team, brilliant therapists, brilliant friends, coaches, like people that help me get there. Because when we're in that space, it's very hard, if not impossible, to be like, oh, this is why I feel so bad, and now I get to be free of feeling bad. Like we can't free ourselves. We're not like the fairy godmother for ourselves. Just bippity boppity boop. Oh, I'm like, I feel great. This is so easy. It's like, no, we're built for community. We're built for people. We're built for, and really profound love, right? Like deep, deep, deep love that actually wakes us out of this slumber into who we're supposed to be. But the numbness of depression feels safe, and it felt safe for me because underneath that was a wound, and that wound would be my father wound. Oof. Mm, mm. The daddy wound. As I was doing my work with the clinician that I love, um, I was at a place where I was actually saying out loud words that I had said to my father. There was a point where I was having this conversation with my dad back in my early 20s, and I was saying, you might disagree with the fact um, that you abused me. Like, you might think I'm wrong when I say that you abused me. Like, okay, you might think I'm wrong. You might think I'm crazy. You might think I'm insane. But I would really love your respect, and I would really love a healthy relationship to you. I started expressing this in my work, my personal work in session. And then tears came like flooding out of my system because, would you believe it? That was the exact words I was saying to the person I had just broken up with. And I was like, started to cry because I'm like, whoa, like these are the words that I was expressing to my father. This is the same relationship I've been recreating at different times in my life. The same words of, you might think I'm wrong. You might think something's off. You might think I'm crazy. And guess what? I could be crazy, but I don't feel respected. I don't feel safe. I deserve your respect. What? Have you ever had one of those moments where you're like, this happened before? Like the way he's looking at me or the way she's looking at me, like I'm pissed off at this person just like I was at my mother. I'm pissed off at her, or I'm pissed off at him, or I'm afraid of him just like I was my father. Something is odd. Something is off. And what a gift to know that the wound is never about the people that trigger it. yeah, there's probably boundaries that need to happen. Like I could no longer be in a relationship with someone that I wasn't feeling valued or safe with, of course. But when we in that space of like being able to make decisions differently, I no longer have to do the thing that keeps bringing up the trigger. Like I no longer have to keep triggering myself. Why does that happen? Like why after all these years, all these years, I'm happily, healthily married to the most amazing human. Why am I like still acting out my daddy issues? Because I'm human. Our work isn't really to ask why, because that goes down the road of something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. It's like, well, guess what? Like something is off. Something doesn't feel right. Whatever. Like I could stay in that loop of something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. But our work with our wounds is not, again, the self criticism and the merry-go-round. It's the gentleness. It's the, okay, I made this mistake. I get to forgive myself. I get to make a different choice today. I get to catch myself sooner than later. It's not about avoiding falling into the wound. It's not about avoiding triggers. It's not about being good or perfect. It's about how you pick yourself back up. That is super important. It's not about avoiding making the mistakes. It's about how quickly you come back to yourself. And yeah, do something different next time. Or yeah, call in support. So maybe you don't call back that person or do that thing that you know is just like, bringing up all this pain. And the thing is, when we have childhood wounding, we start orienting to like, okay, my nervous system is used to being yelled at, drama, intermittent kindness, confusion, black and white relationship with parents. I'm either all good or all bad, all good, all bad. Like like my nervous system's primed for that. So that means I have to be aware of that and conscious when choosing partners. I have to be really mindful. I'm feeling really good right now. I'm feeling really alive right now in this relationship. Is it because it's just reminding me of what it was like growing up? Is it because it's bringing me back? Because somehow it's like we gravitate towards people that remind us of our early parental figures because we think that it's actually filling the hole they left. It's like if I gravitate towards someone that treats me similarly to how my father treated me, then somehow it's like filling that part of me, like somehow that hole that dad left, it's like, maybe there's like a completion happening. Maybe I'll be enough. If I can get this person to love me the way dad couldn't or mom couldn't, maybe I'll be enough. Hmm. Notice what is alive in your body this moment. Notice notice just how you're feeling as you're listening. Notice what's awakening, what's shifting, what's like getting lined up, like what's awakening, what you're getting clear on. Our wounding gets worse when we try to fill it with people, places, and things that only make it worse. That make us think for a moment, I'm going to finally be loved. I'm finally going to be cherished. I'm finally oh, like what a relief. This person's finally going to give me what I need, what I want, finally going to validate me. Mm. We endure a lot in relationship and we create a lot of pain in relationship when we're denying. It's like when we're denying that internal wound, it's like, oh, this thing came up. I need to set a boundary, but instead of creating boundary, I'm just going to act like I did with dad, which is, how can I make this better, dad? How can I take care of you? How can I um, support you? How can I make your anger better? How can I make you love me better? How can I be better so you're happier? That's like that fawning response, which is like a response to emotional or physical abuse. Like, I'm gonna be really nice. I'm gonna be kind. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna hire all the therapists. We're gonna stay together. This hurts so bad and it feels violently unsafe, but maybe it's my wounding and I need to take care of this. I need to take care of all of this stuff so then I can still stay in a relationship with someone that ultimately I know deep down is not healthy for me. We let people be our mothers and fathers. Like, we go unconscious sometimes and let people become our moms and our dads, and they get away with saying things to us that nobody else can say. Like, sometimes our primary partners, like the people closest to us or the people that we date or the people that we're attracted to or have crushes on, we give them a lot of space when really that spaciousness is something that should be turned inward. How can I give myself space right now? I'm feeling really unsafe or I'm feeling really numb. Instead of giving them space, instead of figuring it out, instead of making it better for them, being brave for them, how can I take care of me right now? What do I need? What would feel really good for me? Whew, that inner child feels so held and so safe when we stop putting the spotlight on everybody else's problems, everybody else's wounds, everybody else's issues. You know, when I work with my clients, if someone goes on like a rant about like someone did this or someone said that, it's like I slow my clients down and I help them return back. Like, who's in the driver's seat right here? Do you want this other person to be in the driver's seat or are you in the driver's seat? And if you're not in the driver's seat, how can you get back into the driver's seat? How can you begin to focus on your own wounding that's being brought up? Not in this like woe's me, I'm just such a terrible person. I'm going to internalize. I'm going to keep putting up with people, keep doing things because it's my problem. I'm too sensitive. I'm too this. I'm going to just keep doing the same thing. No, like, not to be negative towards yourself, but to focus on yourself in a healing, loving way. Out of the condemnation into acceptance. A new relationship to our wounds is one of acceptance. I have this thing about me and it's not going anywhere. I have this desire for my dad. I have this longing, this like heart longing to be held, to be valued, to be respected, to be precious. And it's not going anywhere. And if I try to outrun it, it catches up real fast. Outrunning it is not talking to therapists, pretending I don't have an issue, going back into the same patterns and dating. Same thing again, same thing. It feels really good. It feels really good. It feels really good. Not creating boundaries, letting things slide that are red flags. Like the louder the siren is, like the more I lean in. It's like, whoa, the more dangerous it feels. Like the more I'm like, I give all of those things. Awareness of what I'm doing. It doesn't necessarily save me. It doesn't make me perfect, but it gives me a healthier relationship to myself so I don't stay stuck and I don't stay lost too long. Life is just a series of being lost and coming back, being lost and coming back. The people in our lives are like hopefully always calling us back, not taking advantage of our lostness, but calling us back, calling us back. Where are you? Where are you? Like, come back here. I feel like you're missing. I feel like you're pleasing me or appeasing me or you're angry with me. I don't feel you. Come back. And this is actually what we can say to ourselves when we're looking internally at our own wounding. Like, where are you? Like, are you numb? Are you drunk and high and like partying? And does that feel really good, or is just that making the wound worse? Am I dating people that feel really good? Am I convincing myself that this feels safe when it really doesn't because I'm afraid of being alone? Maybe there's some work for me there around being alone. Maybe there's some work for me there around creating a safe space around myself. I'm going to take a couple genders at the comments. I'm looking at the last few. Someone shares, I never felt safe in my last relationship. Someone else says they were lying to themselves. Someone else says fawning is their life. Okay, so this is important. Someone shared, what if we're not feeling valued or safe with other people because we don't yet feel valued or safe with ourselves? Yeah, I want to just speak to that quickly before we move on. You kind of know in your system, am I avoiding myself? Am I numbing myself? Am I not valuing myself? Like, you can feel it in your body. Am I putting myself last? Am I ignoring my needs? Is that why like it feels uncomfortable for me to be with this other person, because I'm not really present to myself? Or am I getting disrespected? Do I feel disrespected? Am I creating a boundary and it's completely ignored all of the time? There's a lot of like saying I'm sorry or like I'll never do that again, but there's a lot of ignoring of it. So then of course I don't feel valued by this person because they're not appreciating my boundaries. They're not acknowledging my boundaries, the things that make me feel safe, my no. Sometimes like we can internalize so much. I'm going to be the superhero here. I'm going to save the day. I'm going to make things better. I'll figure it out. I'll do the work. I'm just going to meditate harder or longer. And then I'll have all this compassion. Like, why can't I have all this compassion for these situations like I had before? Like, what's wrong with me that I'm getting triggered? What's wrong with me? If I'm critical again of myself being triggered, I'll either dive headfirst into that trigger. Like, I'll be like so triggered that I'll keep making bad decisions for myself and like feel completely out of control. Or I'll numb out in order to not to feel the emotions that come up from being triggered. So self-value, when I value myself, it means that I have a boundary and I'm going to respect it. No, you can't talk to me like this. No, or even if I'm talking to you in a way, no, I can't talk to you like this. I need to do more work in order to stop dumping on you, dumping my wounds on you, calling it love. I will be angry with you and like scream at you, and I will be quiet and I'll ignore you for days, and that's me like dumping my wounds on you. When we do our healing, it's like we're not bleeding into our relationships. Like we're able to be intimate and we're able to be more tender with each other, and we're able to have healthier relationships that feel good and feel safe when I'm taking my wounds and I'm like, okay, like I want to look at my patterning. I don't want to make it their problem, but I also want to make sure that I create healthy boundaries for myself so I don't get pulled into things that ultimately sacrifice my energy and my joy. Everybody here, like all of your lights are absolutely so bright, so, so bright, so beautiful that it can be kind of scary to feel your fullness and your brightness. So the temptation is, let me go stir up some wounds. Things are pretty good right now, feeling pretty great, and I think I need to feel bad. It's been about like, I don't know, 3 hours since I felt really bad about myself, and I think I need to suffer a little bit. I think I need to feel terrible a little bit because that feels safe. If I'm afraid of being as big, I was actually saying this to some of the women that I serve that come out to my retreats. If I'm like feeling really afraid of my bigness, well, I'm going to date someone who's also afraid of my bigness. If I'm like, what, I just want to be um like lost in my own demise, because to feel the hugeness, to feel the beauty of my power feels like so much. Because when I feel my bigness, I also feel how small I feel all at the same time. So if I get lost in some drama and like I'm like can't think straight, I don't know what I feel. If I'm lost there, then I don't have to feel the bigness and see the bigness of my impact. We ultimately get stuck in drama because we're afraid of our impact in the world. Like I cleaned up my energy, I refocused. Like we have like almost 50 people on this webinar. There's like really beautiful work coming through me. Why? Because I'm cleaning up my energy and not sacrificing, not giving it over to anybody else. And then if I get caught in something, if I get caught in toxicity, hopefully I recognize it sooner and sooner than later. The more that I'm willing to be big, the more that I'm willing to like like really make an impact, the less I'm going to be putting up with things that don't feel good and that trigger all of my wounding and make me feel terrible all of the time. 90% of your time with people should feel safe, like should feel honoring. There's two things that need to happen if it's not, like, of course, your own work and looking at your boundaries. How do your boundaries need to change? Does anything need to be different? Someone shares, yes, all of those things. Someone shares, no is so hard for me to say and stick to. Cool. Someone raised their hand. You feel free to type in the chat box. Um, Yep. And that was really important for our inner child to heal, for the wounds to actually to help us like mature out of like this childlike state. Some certain partners, specifically some men, will trigger me into a childlike state of like, I just want to love you. I just want to take care of you. I just want to be yours. I want to ignore what's happening, ignore how safe I feel. And I just want this illusion of being saved. Some type of people can trigger me in that state. Like I have to be very careful with certain types of people. And usually I know it from a mile away because there's like this carnal, huge attraction right away. I don't even know you and I want to rip your pants off. That means there's some wounding here. There is some wounding here for me to look at. And if I dive in with you, like, I have to be super conscious. It's so hard to be conscious in relationship when you have a lot of chemistry with someone. It's very easy to be in wounding. Someone shares, if I ever felt that carnal urge with someone, that is safe for me. Yes, my husband. And it's a completely different reality. Actually allowing myself to feel carnal for him has like been such a journey to have like that. I just want to rip your shirt off, because I've noticed, because of my own triggering or wounding, whatever it is, because I'm human, that it's easier for me to let go sexually with people that remind me of my past, that ultimately aren't really present to me. And it was hard for me to give myself the permission to like objectify my husband momentarily and just like completely receive him and open up to him and like surrender to him the way that I would someone that reminds me of my father. We have done a lot of therapy. I do a lot of therapy, a lot of coaching to open up more and to surrender more and to let it feel good instead of bring up a lot of my drama from my past. Actually, when I first met my husband, it felt so good. I was like, this feels really good. This is not for me. This doesn't bring up my wounding. Probably not going to work out. He's probably not going to be that attracted to me. Because my childhood wounding was used to running the show. I was used to crying, like melting, like over men, like crying, having sex, crying, like, oh. And I knew that he was going to be a steady force, like he was going to be a ground for me to stand upon, that we would like hold each other in a way that I've never been held before. It's actually nervous system, like it's our circuitry. And this is something I'll talk about towards the end. At least I'll name a way for you to dive more into this piece, but there's something happening in our nervous system that lights up, like the recognition of someone that reminds me of my dad. My like brain starts lighting up. It's like, and it lights up more when there's pain. Like it's like the dopamine. It's like everything. There's a rush of energy that happens. And for me, I kind of know it as a trauma response. Like if I'm not able to pace myself and I'm ignoring some significant red flags, this isn't love, babe. This is trauma. This is trauma. It's a great question to ask ourselves. Is this love or is this trauma? We have a few more minutes, and I wanted to share a little bit about the exercise that I did today in order to heal my daddy wound. Like the reason why I make this space is because it's like, how many years do I have to do this? And I was like putting it off too. I was like emailing people, reading all of your amazing desires, like wanting to come into your body, like really return to your body, know who you are, know what you want. Like stop putting up with toxicity, stop handing over your power, understand like your habits and relationships, see the shame, experience the shame that you've been having and begin to let it go. Like I'm reading all these things, I'm writing to people like, oh, this is great. And then my heart was telling me like, you got to drop in and do this meditation on your wounding. Like that is how you prepare for this work. Not writing more posts or being more organized or checking out your outline. Finally, I was like, okay, fine. And I did this exercise that I'm going to share with you, which is something that you can do to breathe like love into the sore spots, to breathe gentleness, to breathe kindness. Immediately when I sat down to do this exercise, like the tears came. I just, wow, it was like right on the surface, right on the surface. And tears aren't always on the surface, but they were there and it felt right. My body just wanted to feel this grief. And the wounds are often an aching for someone or something that wasn't there, like this aching. And so I sit down, I'm present, I immediately feel this aching. Wow, wow, I can't outrun this aching. We all can't outrun this aching. I can't, no matter how much work I do, I still have this aching. I honestly feel that because I can feel as much as I do, like I can go so deep into the depths of my pain and my grief, it also gives me the range of like joy and like childlike pleasure and like ridiculousness because I can give myself the permission to like cry and like really feel that pit of emptiness and like really tap into that pit of emptiness. So here I am today, feeling my pit of emptiness. That sounds sexy, but in the moment it was not sexy. Um, close my eyes. And I started to cry because I called in the presence of my father, whom I haven't seen or spoken to in like years. I called in his presence and I felt my emotion and I felt this fear come up, like to have his energy in my presence. It's like, oh, wow. I asked for light, which is something you can do, calling in the presence of someone that you have a lot of wounding with. Then I called in light, God's love. Cover me, God's light, God's love. And then in this meditation in my heart, I asked him, what did I have to see that I couldn't see? What is true that I can't see? And I just got flashes of him as a child going through a lot of pain, a lot of abuse, a lot of loneliness. It's like, whew, okay, wow, wow. And then I start to get angry. I'm like, well, I'm not going to feel compassion for you. Like, like I started like getting defensive and then it's like God's light, God's love. It's like, okay, let me see this without responsibility anymore because my inner child sees my father's pain and feels responsible. Dad was hurt. I have to figure it out. I have to take care of him. But instead of going into responsibility, I just held it. It's like my work in that moment was not to dive in and not to pull back out of like rage of like, oh, I don't care, because it's not true. I do care. You know, when I try not to care, that's the danger. So in my mind's eye, I'm seeing him as a child, asking him, what do I need to know? What do I need to see? And then I ask him, why why did he treat me the way he did and why didn't he love me? Hmm. And the essence of my father. When we do this work, we're calling in the essence. This is the part of them that might not be present or alive today, like the part of them that they might not be able to access. Like he looked at me and he just like wept. He like fell on his knees and he just wept. like heart open weeping. Such a gift in my mind's eye, such a gift. Mm, no words. No words. And then I was like really feeling the quality of the sobbing. The quality of the sobbing wasn't like, oh, woe's me. I'm such a horrible person, but just like, whew, I get what I've done. I really, really get it. I really get it. Mm. I said, what do you think about me choosing partners that remind me of you at times? What do you think about that? And I'm probably going to go over, by the way. Like just 10 minutes, not long, but this feels important. He said, you're looking for the key in them. You think they're holding the key, but you have the key. Hmm. And pointed to like my heart. It's like you have the key. I don't know why key worked for me. Just really worked for me. And he was actually handing me over the key, and like I saw him handing me the key that I've kind of gave to him and assigned to him. He's like, "This is yours." Doosh, ah. It's like like ah, it's mine. It's not anybody else's. Like I've been searching for the key in these men. It's like, does he have the key? Does he have the key? Maybe this one might have it. But it's been me. Wow. Like mm. He said that the searching that I've been doing, that he really understands, that he gets it. I don't have to search anymore. And I said, but you don't get it. Like, what do I do with the aching, though? Like, what do I do with the aching for you? Mm. And we touched heads at that point, which is really amazing, actually, to feel safe to do that with my father. It's like, what do I do with that aching? And he said, just fill it with gentleness, gentleness, and more gentleness, gentleness, gentleness. Please, gentleness. Please, please, please. Please be gentle, please. Hmm. And then I thanked him for spending that time with me, and I thanked myself for being open to receiving the gift of his essence. And when I was like jotting down notes when I was doing this, and when I finished it, I was like, tears were running down my face, and mm, there was this feeling of, I'm okay even if I'm not okay. I'm okay even if I'm not okay. I'm okay. I have this wound. I have these things. I can't ignore them. I can't pretend that they're not here. They're not going anywhere. I'm okay. even if it all doesn't feel okay. It's like, what? This feeling of okayness, this feeling of acceptance. I'm okay with this aching. Father's Day sucks. Sucks. I think I start feeling weird a couple weeks before Father's Day, like feeling just a little raw, more raw. I carry around this aching. And I think all of us do. All of us have this piece that doesn't quite work, that feels a little empty, that feels like we're missing something. The work is to not go crazy trying to fill it, right? And like when I am crazy and I am trying to fill it, like noticing and coming back. I'm okay, even if I'm not okay. I'm okay, even if I'm not okay. Because ultimately, when I'm okay, when I'm really feeling my okayness, like feeling a support of who I am, people gravitate towards me. People gravitate towards me. People in my life like come towards me that are really kind, really loving, like have so much for me. Like there's this bounty of life around me when I'm willing to sit at the table. There's a bounty of life waiting for you if you're willing to sit at the table and like put the truth on the table. What's really happening? What are you really feeling? What are you really experiencing? Not denying it, not lying, not trying to hide it, not trying to cover it up. Hmm. Life is a bounty waiting for us when we're willing to enjoy it. Ah, let's just soak that in for a second. Ah. Life is a bounty, even with my wounds, even with my pain, even with my suffering, even with the person that loves me or doesn't love me, even with the people that use me, even the ways that I've let myself be used. My life is bountiful and nourishing. It's like this gorgeous bounty of like all of these beautiful, delicious, decadent foods that are just waiting to bring me so much pleasure, so much delight. Mm. The good news is that if you're hurting, if you're experiencing hurt, it means you're alive. If I'm experiencing pain, if I'm experiencing feeling left out or feeling desire, feeling want, I'm alive. And I get to do my work, so I orient also to joy. So I stop orienting towards people, places, and things that bring me down. I get to do my work. I get to keep doing it so I can keep expanding my capacity for the bounty with all of these colors and like new people and new things that I've never experienced before. But it feels really good and it feels really scary. I was saying to a client today, she's like, I'm scared. I'm like, yeah, yeah, you're fucking alive. I don't trust people who aren't scared. Like, come on. Yes. Yeah, you get to be scared and do the thing. You get to be afraid and do the thing. You get to feel terrible and still do the thing and get the thing. What is the thing or like getting the thing to you? Is it reaching out to someone that you really want to connect with? Is it asking for a job that feels really good in your body, that like wakens you up and like gets your juices flowing? you get to do the thing when you're scared and you're not ready and you have all of these wounds, because babe, we all have wounds. They're not going anywhere. And why I'm magnetic, like why you feel this energy from me, is simply because I'm not bullshitting myself anymore. I don't bullshit. I'm not lying to myself when I get stuck. So if you too don't want to bullshit yourself, if you don't want to lie to yourself, if you don't want to get stuck in the merry-go-round, if you want to step off that merry-go-round, if you want to get like really real with yourself, how am I hurting myself and hurting other people? What am I doing? Like if you want to get really real and like integrate these pieces that I've been mentioning, we can talk. I would love, 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 love to continue this work with you. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about how can you do this work with me? What does that look like? And this is going to be specifically for women. I know we have a really cool group of men. Men, I have something else that's different for you. This work that I'm going to be talking about is for women. And if you're feeling complete, if you're like satisfied, you're like, you know, I got the download. This is great. Thank you so much for being here. It's been an honor, absolute honor. And if you're like, okay, yeah, I want to go a little bit deeper, like what else can we do with this? This feels really right. Like something's calling me in. I don't know what's calling me into this woman with the crazy hair and the big boobs. I don't know what it is, but it's like there's something in it that feels right in my system. This work feels right in my system. If you're like feeling like, okay, something's really right here. I feel scared. I feel kind of pissed off. I have all these emotions coming up. But if you're feeling like something's right and you want to explore deeper, I have an opportunity for you. And wow, it's like all of the feels to like, it feels like sharing with you my child. It's like, whew, sharing with you something super, super precious that I put a lot of love and time and energy into. And things are going to get pretty wild right now. I'm about to screen share something so you can see what's next if you so desire. Okay. Can you see this? Shut Up, Kiss Me is a program that I've created for powerful, powerful women who are just unwilling to sit on the sidelines, who are like unwilling to put everybody else first, unwilling to make excuses of why they don't have what they want. It's a 6-week journey to being unapologetically and radically you. What are the things, like the little voices in your head telling you, you know, that you don't get to have what you want, or that you're not good enough, or that, you know, no one's going to love you, like all of those voices, all of those things. This program is specifically designed to help you recognize them and actually take a step forward. Stop pleasing them. Stop making like stop appeasing all of these voices. Like you get to move forward and experience deeper compassion for yourself, and not a feeling of stuckness, not a feeling of everybody else gets the thing, but I don't. Begins March 1st. Woo! So this is what you get. And I'm going to shoot you this link. Brianna might post it in the chat box. What are you going to get? You're going to get to know your value in this work with me. So you stop settling for relationships that make you feel like shit. Simple as that. You wait until you see what happens in your system when you stop settling and you stop compromising. Well, let me just go back. Well, let me just explain myself. Maybe if I explain myself, well, maybe if I go back, maybe if I figure it out. In the work that we do, you're going to get to know your value in such a real way that it's like no hesitation to let go of things that feel toxic. It's like no hesitation. It makes sense to feel good. You're going to get to know your power right there. Ooh, baba da boo. Get to know your power so you know in your heart that you not only can attract the most healing, deep, and sexy partnership of your dreams, but you can actually keep it. When I say partnership, maybe it's with someone else, maybe it's with you. Like, you get to keep the things that feel good. They're not for everybody else. I guarantee you, I promise you. And this is going to come up in our work, like comparison, because people talk to me like, oh, it's easy for you, Maria. Like, you have someone that loves you. You're married. Or like, you're pretty. I'm like, dude, bro. Dude, the work that I have to do to stay present in my life and return to my body, return to receiving, to move out of this I have to earn it into receiving it. So the spotlight's not going to be on me. The spotlight's going to be on everybody in the group. Like, you're going to get to know your value and your power and get to be self-expressed in the areas that maybe before you wouldn't be self-expressed, or you'd be quiet or shy or not sure if you could speak or be seen. We're going to look at your worth, not holding back, allowing yourself to make waves, allowing yourself to say the things that create healthy boundaries for yourself. Practice saying no in your system. See what it feels like in your body. I have lots of fun little exercises. They're going to help you trust your no and not have to explain it. Not have to like figure it out first. Like, I have a no here. Is it my true no? Is it my fake no? It's like, it gets to be a no. Tomorrow you might be a yes, but right now you're a no. So we'll do work around you trusting. Why this is no? Why do I not trust this person? I feel like I should trust this person. We're moving out of shoulds. You're not going to be shooting all over yourself. You're going to be in a deeper sense of belief that how you feel is what you're meant to feel. I'm feeling all these emotions. I'm feeling really confused. Yeah, there's wisdom in that. We're going to make space for that. You're going to get to know your desire. Like, your actual desire. What do I really want in relationship? Romantic or not romantic? You're going to get to lead with that. And what I mean by that is not going into conversations like, well, what do you want? What do you need? Do you want to be my partner? Is that something that you want? It's like, you get to go into conversations. You get to walk into a room and like lead with your desire, lead with what you want. I want to walk into this room. I want to have a drink of water. I want to sit down on this couch. I want to believe that I am meant to be here. Desire is really connected to your belief. We're going to look at the beliefs that are going to be really healing for you and are actually true for you, that allows you to trust your desire. The belief that you get to show up and be seen. The belief that your voice is worthy. The belief that you are worthy, regardless of what you've done or haven't done. What this includes is 6 group coaching calls with moi. Amazing, amazing women. Like the women that are on this webinar right now, all of you, incredible ones. I can't wait for you to witness each other. I cannot not wait for you to witness each other's truth and see how much alike you are. Because working with me is one thing. It's incredible and you'll get exactly what you need. And hearing someone else's truth, hearing them express themselves, realizing that you're not alone, that's priceless. And I can't wait to bring that. I cannot wait. I'm going to create exercises for you, and you're going to have private access to me. So usually to work with me is 2000 a month, and that's enough said. All calls are recorded, and simply you're going to love getting to know these women. Like, perks are, this is way, way lower cost than what it usually is to work with me. All the calls are recorded, so if you don't make a call, that's fine. You can watch it later and you'll have access to that. And the women that you're going to be connecting to are, I feel in my bones, going to be your friends for life. All from the comfort of your home. Hmm. And I'm going to read to you some of our Bill of Rights from Shut Up, Kiss Me. And when I say these, see how they feel in your body. And if it feels good for you, you can take a deep breath and like really embody these things, really feel it in your system. Like, start to step into the person that believes in her worth. Shut Up, Kiss Me, Bill of Rights, number 1. I believe that I get to have what I want, and I watch people to line up to give it to me. I get to snuggle up to my yo to make my yes jealous and come in and want to fuck me. I connect with my primal sex energy to cultivate deeper freedom and let my joy have her way with me. I confront my daddy issues so I stop attracting men who are wounded like my father and begin to attract ones who are solid and blow my mind. And if you're attracted to women, I confront my mommy issues or daddy or whatever issues there are. So you stop attracting women who are wounded and begin to attract the ones who blow your mind. I'm part of a family of women who celebrate my bigness, so I never feel again that I am too much. And I would love for you to take some time to read over what we will do each week. And briefly, what we'll do is we're going to build on each week. So week 1 is the foundation. Like, we're looking at patterns. You're going to be able to spot your patterns from a mile away. Like, oh, I do this thing. This is what needs to shift. I'm ready to shift this. All of us are going to be in this beautiful pot together, recognizing, what do I do? How am I influencing my life? Am I adding healing or am I adding pain to it? Week 2, you're going to understand, like, why does my body do what she does? Why does she want these things? What's happening? Why am I addicted? Why is my body getting addicted to drama? How can I reverse that? So that means tenderness with your inner child. Because usually when we're feeling a lot of emotions, it's just that inner child that's needing our kindness, that's needing time, and also needing to speak up and be heard and not told that she has to be quiet or has to be nice or doesn't get to feel what she has to feel. And in week 2, you're going to learn language around your emotions and be able to express it. Instead of saying, I don't know what I feel, or you tell me what I feel, you're going to be really clear in your body. This is exactly what's happening for me. And the power from that ownership is unlike anything else. In week 3, you're going to get uncomfortable. Is that shocking? You're going to get uncomfortable as you learn to receive total adoration. Total adoration, like from other women. And a lot comes up, like a lot of comparison, maybe jealousy. To be among other women who see you and get you and celebrate you is a medicine unlike anything else. In week 3, we're all going to really focus on sharing what we love about ourselves and being witnessed in that. And not like playing it down, like, oh, it's not that great. None of that. Week 4, this is about desire, specifically when it comes to partnership and when it comes to your life. So we're looking at, who do I really want to call in when it comes to partnership? Is that something I even really want? Or do I want to focus on something else? What do I want in my life? Like, what do I want for my life? Or maybe you're looking at both. Because the clearer that you get, the more that people can't disappoint you, because you're not able to be disappointed. If I don't have a button for you to push, you can't push my button. So it just requires clarity. I'm available for this in friendship and relationship and whatever in my life. I'm available for this because I'm building my kingdom and I'm making an impact. And I know I'm here to make an impact. Whether it be like me as a coach, or whether it be an artist or a mother, you're here to make an impact. This week 4, we're looking at, what is your desire for that? How do you want to make an impact when it comes to your relationships and when it comes to your life? When you really let yourself want it and not shut it down. That means we're going to be looking at fears, new relationship to fears, like looking them in the eye, practicing talking them out, talking to the fears. So they're no longer like these big scary things. It's like, it's really big and scary until I look at it and I'm like, this is not that scary. It's like, this is doable. I can feel this fear and I can accomplish what I want and stop sitting on the sidelines, pretending that I'm happy, but I'm really not. I get to really, really feel meaning, really deep meaning, and see the value that I have, see it reflected back to me in my world. Week 5. What does it mean to belong? What does it mean to let yourself belong? It's incredibly hard, not hard, impossible to heal our wounds in solidarity, alone, separate from the world in my little castle. What does it mean to belong? Where have you been pushing people out? How can you let yourself belong more? For me specifically, I can name like judgment, feeling like, oh, well, I've done more work, or I've done this or that, or I'm up here because I do that. It keeps me from belonging. It keeps me from feeling connected to people. When people deeply want to love me and deeply want to see me and make me feel valued. So we're going to look at the things that step in the way of you and belonging. And we're going to create more spaciousness for you to lean in by giving you exercises, practices that you can do to help you trust yourself. Trust that you deserve to belong. Trust that you deserve to show up. Week 6, baby, the final week. This is a lot in 6 weeks. This is chock full. Hot damn. So this week, since we did so much, we moved so deeply quick, it's going to be like, you're going to feel like years went by, which is what happens when we do work together. Even in one session, a lot happens. In week 6, it's celebration. Not rushing to the next thing, the next program, the next whatever. It's like, I get to really feel in my body and celebrate what I've created over the last 6 weeks and take this into my life. Yeah. I get to feel how good it feels. I get to feel how good it feels to just be me. I get to celebrate that. This means radical self-trust, not because you're perfect, which I shared earlier tonight, but because you are you, alive in your beautiful skin, in your body, not because you're perfect, not because you have it all figured out, but because you're fully alive despite and because of everything. It's like a chance to like feel your humanity and your divinity all at once. Like the fact that you can literally create everything and yet you feel so small all at the same time. We're going to make space and celebrate all of those unique parts of you. So the full sexiness of this course, the full price is 1 payment of $700 or 4 monthly payments of $199, which I feel really good about. And how I came to this understanding was I wanted to make my work more accessible. I wanted to reach more women in a shorter period of time. I wanted you to get a taste of what it looks like to do this work, create a really beautiful foundation, create payment plans to make it work, create a one payment that's a little bit cheaper to make it work. So you can begin to really feel you even more in a way that you haven't felt you. And I noticed there's like an edge when I ask for money. It's like, whew, it's like my inner child. It's like, are you sure you're allowed? Are you sure like you're allowed to do this work? Like, I'm scared. Like, what if I get hurt? Because like it's so vulnerable to like name my gift and say, I am worthy to do this work with you. And I feel in my body that truly I feel honored and deeply, deeply worthy and honored to do this work with you. I honestly feel like nobody does it better than me. Honestly, completely modestly, I truly feel in my heart that I can support you in a way that you've never been supported before. Okay. Oh, and if you sign up before February 26th, you're going to get this special badass pricing here. And then it goes up on the 27th to help you move and scoot that hiney. Because sometimes when we know we want something, we know that we're feeling called and we're feeling juiced by it. Sometimes we can like hesitate. It's like I've noticed in my life, it's like something feels really good and healthy. I'm going to weigh out all the pros and cons and make a chart and talk to everybody and see what they think. It's like, because it feels good, but something that's impulsively not good, it's like, I'll do that right away. I'll just, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I want to give you incentive to really trust yourself. If you're feeling called into the people who are here, into this work, if you're wanting to dive in deeper to me, I really hope you will move today and honor that desire. So in your email, you're going to get this link so you can sign up. You can email me any questions that you might have about this work. And you're also going to get an invitation to our Facebook group so we can continue talking about this. We can see how this relates to our lives. I'm really, really excited about this. I haven't done this before. So this is a bonus gift that I'm giving you, a whole month of free access to continue this conversation with each other. What came up for you? What did you learn? Like, don't do it on your own, dude. Don't go back into your house and like organize it with all your charts and graphs. Like, come into the group, talk about what you experienced, talk about your breakthroughs, talk about your clarity, talk about your questions, talk about things that still hurt. Because you're worth it to be in community. And in your email, I'll send you links to all the things and you'll have everything. Honored to be here. Absolutely, absolutely honored. We went way over. Thank you for just honoring you, honoring me by coming today. I have everything that I said. I want to leave you with something that's super, super spiritual and super, super important. Oh, and before I leave you with something super spiritual and super important, someone asks, how long are these weekly video chats? Probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. Might run over about a half hour to two, so it might be 2.5, 3 hours, but most likely an hour and a half to 2 hours. And once everybody signs up, I'm going to poll people about what's the right time for everybody. Cool. Okay, and I'm going to leave you with this. Yay! Tamara says she's in. I'd love you to be there tomorrow. I'm going to leave you with enjoy yourself. Enjoy. Have an amazing, amazing evening or amazing morning wherever you are, and enjoy wherever it is that you are. It's where you're supposed to be. It's been an honor to be here today, and hopefully I will see you beginning of March. Talk to you soon.